found this statistic which was quite shocking. It says on average every year we spend 79 full days staring at our phones. There's 79 days where we're just like this. Imagine yourself stood like this for 79 days. How do you guys think that can affect our mental well-being?
Do you know what, yeah? I think it's become a more digitized society, right? So if you weren't staring at your phone, you'd probably be staring at something else. But I think the real question is, what do you look at on your phone for those 79 days?
Okay.
If it's always something that, it goes back to what these social media influencers post at. What are you actually posting to influence? What's the purpose of what you post at? How does it influence people? So if you're always consuming content which makes you feel negative, doesn't educate you, doesn't broaden your perspective, doesn't help you communicate with people that you actually want to interact with, but always makes you question about the way you see things in a negative light, and you're constantly putting that into your mind, it's going to be very difficult, no matter how your internal environment is set up, to kind of go against that negative input.
Yeah.
So I think you always have to ask, like, what are you looking at for those 79 days? And then
So even if what you're looking at for those 79 days, if it's good, positive content and something that you really like to engage with, you think that's still okay, even though it's 79
I'm not going to say it's okay, but I don't think it's going to change the way the world is becoming.
I also think it depends on what you could do instead. Like, if you're spending that time like staring at your screen when you should be doing something else, then that's an issue. Like, if you're doing it while you should be studying, for example, or you should be sleeping, that's an issue. If it's just idle time, you really have nothing to do, then like, okay. But if it's replacing things that you ought to be doing, then it becomes an issue.
Okay.
I do guess it depends where those 79 hours are coming from. So probably back in
79 days.
70.
That changes
79
everything.
days. I think if you're spending it back then, you probably spend it with your family. Like, if you just came back from school, you say, oh, let me speak to my mom. I feel like a lot of people have become so engrossed in their phone, they don't actually have that like personal interaction.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I think it does, following off what you're saying, it changes what you prioritize. Because when last year I went to Fiji for about 10 days, and I decided to go to the smaller islands, and these small islands have no signal or nothing, and the people that live there, they don't have phones. They do see phones from visitors, and yeah, they don't have that interest. But I had a conversation with one of the Fijians, and we were like saying, oh, do you want to visit like all these other countries now that you see all these travelers coming here and stuff like that, you see all this stuff? And they were like, no, we're actually pretty content. We hear your stories and we're fine where we are. We don't care to have a mobile phone and whatnot. And they spend so much time with each other. Like, each day, all they do is literally play volleyball, eat, drink, and that's
socialize.
Yeah, just socialize. Like, even when we say, like, because we know that we're making such little money, and we're just like, don't you guys feel like you're being exploited and stuff? Like, I feel like Westerners feel like pity for them. And they're like, if we're paying our kids' school fees, then what else do we need to pay for? Whereas for us, we can have so much more money, and it's like, oh, there's this new car out, there's this new bag out, there's this and that. So we prioritize such different things. So I feel like even though you're consuming good content, it's even like, now I can see motivational stuff, but you're seeing, at 21, I bought my first house, and I'm married, I'm this and that. I mean, to me, it inspires me to do well, but then again, you're prioritizing that I need to do things at a quicker pace and things like that. So I think you prioritize different things according to your consumption. I feel like because we're so consumed, like even my concentration, I say like it's gone so bad. I watch something on YouTube and my phone, I'm still looking at my phone. Why can't I not just concentrate on this? When I was younger, Tracy Beaker, like my eyes were on Tracy Beaker only, or Wally Road. Now it's like it's split. So I feel like it does have a negative effect in terms of prioritizing concentration, but then the type of content that you're consuming, as you were saying, can be good for you as well, because some people have like made themselves better because of their social media. They've grown their career and stuff like that, which is really great. But then again, like sometimes consuming it too much can be detrimental to your mental health and stuff.
I think, my personal opinion, I'm a little bit of a radical anyway. I don't think 79, regardless of what you're consuming, I think 79 full days out of a year, because a year has 365. And at this stage, you're already on 79. So if you think about it, that is a very long time that we spend staring at our phones.
Yeah.
Even if it's
Yeah.
good content, like you said, because I think you can get that good content from books. You can get that good content from talking to each other, like we have on this. We're all here talking to each other, and I think we're just losing touch of that.
Yeah.
There's no social interaction. Like I was in a party yesterday, and I was dancing, like I was just chilling. I put my phone to the side, and everybody was on their phones.
Yeah.
And I was like, why can't we just all dance? And everybody was on their phones.
Not
I
living
did
in the moment.
Not living in the
Yes.
moment.
A big problem, I think, in our
It's true.
generation. Yeah.
Even when you go to dinner nowadays, it's like everyone's on
Everyone's
their
trying to
phone.
snap the
The
food.
food's coming. The food's getting cold, but everyone stop. Let's do the whole video and everything.
Right.
Like it's too much sometimes, and I actually like those moments not having fun at all because I realize
The
like,
best
there's no
moments
pressure.
are not
Yeah,
captured on your
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Honestly, I was
Honestly.
thinking about that,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of times we say we take pictures or we post things for the memories behind it. But a lot of times, the good memories that we share, a lot of people who are close to us, we actually don't have any
Anything.
physical
Yeah.
Evidence of that.
like we should all have literally memories in it.
Just a
Yeah.
So it always makes me question whether these memories we're taking are they actually to show other people
What we're doing.
Yeah.
like our memories, or are they really for us to remember our
And
memories?
it
You know what I'm
brings
saying?
it brings us back to the first question, doesn't it? So like you're recording these good times to show the good times, but you're not actually
Enjoying the
It's
time.
like, yeah.
I went to a concert in London. It was Simi. Does anyone listen to Simi? No? Simi? Oh, you guys.
I feel like I've heard of her.
Yeah, I think I've heard.
It's
Yeah.
of our house.
Yeah.
Does anyone know Simi? You must know Simi.
Someone
You know,
said
Simi.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, I went. Actually, no. She brought out Wizkid.
Oh,
She
wow.
brought out Mr. Easy. So she actually brought out a lot of artists. Anyway, I had such a good time, but it was so annoying because everybody was recording it, and they were looking at it through their phone. And I was like, she's right in front of you, she's performing for you, but you're seeing it through your phone.
As if he was watching someone.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. Obviously, I took a few snaps. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my
yeah.
God, Celie. And then I put my phone back up.
Yeah.
But everybody was on their phone, and then I couldn't see it because everybody had their
Yeah,
phone up,
yeah.
and I'm a little bit short, so
Yeah.
it was a bit of an issue anyway.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Did you say? Okay. We're gonna keep it.
It's just okay. High definition. It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, just the idea that we're living through our phones and not actually in the moment. I think that's so sad.
Yeah, I think I'm like you. Like when I was younger, obviously you want to record everything. I'm like, realistically, you're not going to sit through 2 hours of content again.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I just know that, okay, the entrance, maybe like when everyone's high, and like my favorite songs, but other than that, I put it away. Because even some people, I know some people to this day, Snapchat or Instagram stories, the entire content. Why must we see? Like, you know when you're tapping, you leave it, and you come the next day and you're
And it's still there.
going through, and you're like, we don't really
Why would you
care.
pay
Just
so much
enjoy
money?
it.
Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just
To go
enjoy
in.
it.
Because for me, it's like you might as well stay at home
Home,
and
I
watch it on
through someone
TV or
else's.
something. Because
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
essentially what you're doing,
Basically,
right?
Yeah.
I'm even realizing, like, when I used to do that at concerts and stuff, those videos, I'm never gonna watch them again. And I
yeah.
go back and I'm like, this is actually just taking up space.
Space,
So
yeah.
I end up deleting things that I thought I'd be watching again,
Yeah.
but then.
But you're not even watching them again.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I feel like I had a bigger problem with the way we consume a lot of things that we consume.
Yeah.
I feel not very selective in terms of what we choose to consume. So you were saying about how a lot of things that we save or hoard, for example, we won't necessarily go back and look at it again.
Exactly.
I think it's a very similar thing with our social media feeds. So we subscribe to a lot of people, a lot of things, but a lot of times we're not actually really consuming half the stuff that we really like kind of subscribe to. Even our friends, people we don't necessarily interact with them all the time, but they're just there, for example. They take up a lot of like space and a lot of mental capacity. And I was talking with a friend about the idea of just having time to like, idle and just be free. And I think we don't do enough of that because that's actually what allows us to be creative, to actually, we don't allow ourselves to get bored enough to really think about what we want to do. So every time you feel a little bit of boredom, every time you feel a little bit of restlessness, a little bit even just anxiety, you pick up your phone because our brains have naturally been conditioned to think that's a solution to everything. So we don't actually allow ourselves to idle enough to really think about what we really want to do all the time. Yeah.
Do you guys ever take time out from like your phones or social media?
Yeah.
I save my phone.
Yeah, recently. I felt
You
like
had exams.
I just put up my phone in the morning and I put it away. But I think
Yeah.
I'm actually going to do that more often because I think it just benefits me in terms of having mental clarity, not necessarily feeling overwhelmed, having to respond to messages, having to check up on this and that. I think it actually frees up a lot of mental capacity in general.
If I go on a holiday, I'm gonna be on my phone, but significantly less than before because I'm busy doing other things. But it has to be very intentional in my part. I think I have to make the decision.
To do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. And also, I just don't like being on my phone generally when I'm with people. I find it rude as well because you're splitting your attention, and I'm one of those people. I can't text if someone's talking to me. Like I just do that at the end of the day when I'm at home. So I prefer being on my phone. Let's say if I'm on the train, on the bus, by myself, or if I'm in my bed at the end of the day. I don't like doing it like whilst I'm in the moment. So even when I do capture videos and stuff, I put it on Instagram at the end of the day. So I select what I'm putting on. But yeah, it's very intentional. So I think especially after Australia, where I was like stripped with a lot of things, like I had limited like internet, and my friends are like 9 to 12 hours behind of time and stuff like that. I think from that it's just I grew less attachment with my phone, and I'm glad that it's mostly for music, to be fair.
That's good. Do you take any time?
What I've tried to do is, on your phone, that notifications come up. So I got rid of all of them and I replaced them with like newspapers or something different.
Okay.
So whenever a notification comes on, I go straight to the website, and then eventually I'll go through my social media, but that won't be the first thing I'll go to. Because you can spend hours on that, just scrolling through Twitter. You don't even realize you're like, oh, it's an hour and a half later.
100%. Do you guys have iPhones?
Yeah.
Do you have the oh god, what is it called?
Screen time.
Screen time.
I found that very useful.
It's so inside.
When I found out my screen time, I was like, you need to stop. You need to slow your roll. It's crazy.
Whenever it goes up, I'm actually so upset.
Same.
Yeah, I get upset.
I remember when mine was like 3 hours. I felt so proud of myself. I was like, go you, like for just having 3 hours. Yeah,
What's
but
that?
those are them days. Those are the days where you're not really like I'm busy from the morning till night. That by the time I come home, I can't be asked. Yeah, to But yeah, I've taken off notifications because I feel like with social media, everything's very instant, and people demand your time instantly. Like WhatsApp. Yeah, like someone messages you and they expect you to answer straight away, whereas I have to intentionally open up the app and see.
So like you guys basically ignored most of my message on WhatsApp.
No, what?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. And you too.
No, you know what it is? If I open it and I don't have the time to respond to it, then I'm gonna forget to respond. So I leave it there so that when I do come back on the app, I see the blue.
I think
that's another issue in the sense that a lot of times we're really busy posting stuff on social media, but the interactions we have on social media, we're not really keeping them up. Let's say I have like 4 messages I probably need to reply to people I care about, but I'm too busy posting stuff that I don't actually interact with people who
actually matter.
Yeah. So I think that's actually quite insightful as well. But at the same time, people shouldn't feel, in my opinion, like entitled to your time all the time. Should be a bit more understanding like about what you have to do. But with social media, like people always feel like they're always there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I am bad. Like I can take like a month to reply.
Okay.
So now he comes to us now.
Like I have a friend. We actually speak. I would even want to say like quarterly.
Yeah.
Because he will message me. I will take like 3 months to reply, and then he will take like 2 months to reply.
And that's the one same conversation.
No, we keep going. It's just,
I don't know how, because when people pop up after a long time, I'm like, what are you even talking about? I've even forgotten, like, what is the point? I just think, what's the point?
But I feel like those kind of relationships are the best kind of relationships.
Honestly.
Like it extends so much beyond social media that the fact that people perceive like people replying late as like rude and stuff in it. But if it extends beyond that, I think a lot of time probably one of like those are the kind of most healthiest like relationships in person as well.
because the person is not expecting me to reply straight away, and I'm also not expecting them to reply straight away, and they just get it like there's no hard feelings or anything like that. And the problem is, I think I do what you just said, which is if I know I'm not going to reply now, I try not to open it. But sometimes I'm a little bit worse than that. I open it and then I'm like, I will reply later. And then
I do that.
And then in my head, I'm like, oh, I replied already. And then 2 months go by, I was like, oh, I need to reply to Emmanuel. Do you know what I mean? Like,
They do still.
Okay, we're going to move on to the last topic, which is cancel culture. How do you guys feel about that? Social media canceling people, even businesses sometimes. How do you guys feel about that?
When you say cancel, do you mean just as a collective or just individuals?
In general, so sometimes businesses get cancelled, sometimes people, like, Kevin Hart, they were trying to get him cancelled from the Oscars, all that stuff.
What do you feel it's positive or negative?
You guys didn't know? Really?
Yeah.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much he was going to host the Oscars, and some people digged in some tweets that he did from like 10 years ago.
No, the old tweet thing, I think for like cases like R. Kelly, for example, yes, cancel him.
Really?
Where you draw the line?
R. Kelly, yes.
Why do you think we should cancel R. Kelly?
Because he's like a pedophile and a rapist, and we shouldn't support him. He needs to go to prison. But then when it's like tweets from 2010, that's kind of like you're putting yourself at a level where you think you're better than that person. You're assuming that you weren't problematic back then, and assuming that you're not problematic now when we're always growing and learning. So yeah.
The only problem I have with it, obviously, like, the case of R. Kelly, everyone knows that he's a paedophile. But where do we draw the line from people being like social vigilantes and trying to put the law into their own hands? That's a problem with social media because a lot of people are like seen as guilty before they actually like.
Absolutely. I think the court of so what they call it, the court of public, what is it? The court of public opinion. Sorry. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think we are too quick to make assumptions and make decisions off of the little snippet things that we see, and it doesn't really give the chance for, because everybody should be assumed innocent until proven guilty, if that's correct. But I think with social media, especially with Twitter, I think people jump straight away and they start going after people even without knowing really the facts, if you know what I mean. So I think in that sense it can be dangerous because you might be canceling somebody that probably doesn't deserve to be cancelled, if you know what I mean.
There's also a lot of misinformation as well. So let's say people put out stuff and they have receipts to back it up, for example. But the things that they're saying necessarily might not be true. Obviously, if all you have is what you think is true or what you perceive to be true, like no real evidence or system behind it to verify it, that becomes a problem. But I think what you're saying about the influence of social justice can be more wide-reaching beyond the initial moment. Let's say something happened, I was cancelled, for example. I don't know, no reason for me to be cancelled. But beyond that, people don't necessarily care about how it affects me after that. You know what I'm saying? People only care about the moment and making sure that they've cancelled this person they think is bad. But what if the person is actually innocent beyond that? What actually really happens to the person? And who really cares? A lot of time nobody does.
I think our generation is too reactionary. So as soon as we hear something, we feel that we have to say something. Do you know what I mean? And I just think we should afford people because if, for example, my brother was accused of rape, I don't want everybody jumping on him already without knowing whether he's a rapist or not. And a lot of the times, even when those people, in those occasions where they found that they're not guilty, they already lost everything because you already canceled them, they've already lost their jobs. And a lot of people, just their perception that they have that he's a rapist, it doesn't matter whether he's guilty or not. And I think that's extremely dangerous.
For me, I feel like cancelling works better if it's for businesses or people who have influence on institutions, like the current president of the United States. Yes.
Did you say it like that?
Yeah, because now he's tracking down people's social media to stop people coming into the US. But anyway, but I feel like, especially, I have to single out black people because I'm black myself. We try to cancel businesses, but we don't do it collectively. When the Chinese, I think it was in China, I think a racist comment or something came about with one of the big designers, and everyone threw their things away, and they I think they're discontinuing selling there and everything. They went to the extreme to cancel, and they did that collectively very quickly. Whereas us, it's some people are making jokes about it. With the whole shea moisture and things like that. People are very on the fence with everything. So it's these brands like H&M and that, they can afford to make these mistakes because eventually we're still going to jump back on it. We're not going to entirely cancel them.
Exactly.
So we need to actually have a more collective front if we're actually going to cancel brands, especially because black people's purchasing power is actually a lot, but we don't really realize the power we actually do have. But with also people as well, it's people in institutions that can make decisions that actually affect a lot of people. I feel like we have to hold them accountable as well because they affect a lot of people's lives, like the person that is allowing kids to be in detention centers and wants to build a wall to block off Mexico. People like that shouldn't be in spaces where they can make decisions that affect people's lives. They need to be cancelled.
Do you think we should cancel Donald Trump?
100%.
Okay.
And that wig that is on his head.
Orange hair.
Yeah, but I feel like with people with the whole bringing up tweets, I think it's just you need to educate them on why they were wrong.
Yeah.
Because they might not actually have that view to this
Anymore,
day.
yeah.
But
I agree with that. I think digging things that happened 10 years ago, even the social space we were in were different because the tweet was I think it was a bit homophobic, I believe.
Yeah.
But we have to think that 10 years ago,
people
were generally not for gay rights and all of that.
That's
So
very
that was
true.
the atmosphere at the time, and that's not the atmosphere now. And I believe Kevin Hart has addressed it and said that's not how I feel now. But a lot of us felt like that before. So I do agree with you. I think canceling people based on the things that they did in the past, it's a bit unfair. So guys, the last question is: should we quit or detox?
Up to the person. Detox for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say neither.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like detox implies that you take it out for a while and then bring it back in. But I think what we need to do is regulate how we use it personally. So I think maybe taking time out like a detox here to then reassess how you want to reintegrate back to your life is key, but not necessarily one or the other. Quitting, I think, is very impractical because there's been stretches this year where I just been off all social media and little things that you don't realize social media really does for you, remind you of. I know it's very small, but people's birthdays, I would forget if there wasn't a reminder somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think just being very aware how you actually integrate into your life, what purpose it serves, is probably the best thing to do.
I think it depends on the type of person you are. Because I have friends that don't have social media, but somehow they're aware of things going on.
Okay.
So if you're really someone that's really addicted to social media, then maybe quitting is the best option. Because it is basically like a drug.
I think
It can be addictive. It can be very addictive. I know I tried to quit my whole phone once. And that didn't work for me because my bus pass was on my phone. We're just so attached to our phones. Everything is on our phones. Even I remember I was going to London and I wanted to specifically not take my phone with me. But then I realized my train ticket was there. My what's that thing? The rail card was there. Even the rail card is on my phone. So I was just like, I really can't not live without my phone.
I feel like at a loss without it.
Without it.
I tell myself sometimes that it's like I need it because my parents might call and they don't like me not picking up. But they won't call and I'm still gonna be on social media instead of putting it away.
So you would pick to be addicted? You can only pick one, girl. Come on now.
I need WhatsApp. I need to contact my family who's abroad.
I actually felt I lost when my phone broke while I was in Australia, and I was like, how am I supposed to contact everyone because WhatsApp was. I feel her.
But I just think back in the days people didn't have it. They still contacted each other. If anything, people were closer at the time.
Yeah. No, I would disconnect completely because then I wouldn't.
Did you just flick your hair? Sorry. What was that flick of the hair? Say how you really feel, girl.
You said people were closer back then, but there was propaganda against books. They were like, everyone's reading books, no one talks to each other. So it's just contextual. Books were there, good for them, but it's Twitter now. And
I'm assuming you would definitely be addicted.
yeah.
I get you,
I've
girl. Do your
gotten jobs
thing.
from Twitter. I've gotten really close friends.
That's true.
I'm not going to demonize social media because it's actually.
I think in theory I would like to say that I would disconnect, but realistically I don't think that's what I would do. I don't think that's what I would do.
I would definitely disconnect.
I could.
100%.
I think once you get used to it, you'll come.
Yeah.
I'd want to disconnect, but I'm not sure like you were saying, if that would be practical in the way I live right now. So I think it will take a lot of me remodeling how I live right now.
I think we assume, because we're used to the way we are and the things we do, we assume that it's not possible. But I know my friend, he literally got rid of his iPhone. He got the small, Nokia, and he's living his best life.
I know a friend who does that periodically, and he'll come back to his iPhone for a while.
Really?
He
You can't do it dramatic
yeah.
because I know people that also I'm coming off social media, it's toxic. 2
2
weeks later, they've
They're
come back.
posting.
I feel like I missed everything. I was just going on Netflix instead. It's so much more. And it's because you can't do that big jump. You have to do it in doses. Maybe limit the times. You can have
so you can start slower, the time, and then.
Because you don't have to be entirely off. You can have those apps that block the apps at a certain period of time. So your most productive hours don't be on social media.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me. In the evenings, I can't concentrate on work, so I'm gonna be on social media more than in the morning where I'm actually my concentration's high. So I wouldn't say that you completely come off. But if I had to pick, I would definitely disconnect because then I wouldn't be able to see what I'm missing out on and things like that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Guys, thank you so much for this. This was amazing. Should we round of applause? Thank you so much. Oh, what am I doing again? Introducing the sorry. Distract me. You're so dramatic. Is it going? Is it still going? That was exhausting.
It's a wrap. That's a wrap, nigga.
Was that the last? I said it.